This is the Newsload.
Hi, I'm Carrie Anne Stevenson, and I'm here with Newsload, and I am so very excited to be able to interview P. Lynn Johnson. Hello, P. Lynn. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. It's fun to be here.
You're in Vancouver?
Yeah, yeah. And it's a sunny day here. Oh my goodness.
So jealous. It's a snow day here in London, Ontario. But we're going to have a white Christmas, and it's going to be very lovely.
Yes, it will be. It will be, I'm sure.
Shoveling out our cars and all of the chaos that ensues in the snow is it's December. What do you do? What do you do?
Exactly.
Anywho, so I am so excited to hear about all your experiences on the X-Files.
Okay, yes.
So the major episode that you were on was the devil worshipping school one, where you were with I don't know his name, but he was Wolf, like the hound dog on Frasier, and he was the lead teacher. And how was that experience for you?
Well, as we talked about that, I had done 3 episodes of X-Files, and they were all amazing. The cast and crew were phenomenal, top notch. This one was particularly interesting because the director was Kim Manners, may he rest in peace. And I'll tell you a story. People may not believe this, but because it had to do with, I was part of the PTA. My name was Mrs. Brown, and we were part of a devil worshiping group. Basically, we kind of made a pact with the devil, and so part of my audition when I went in there, and I knew people pretty well because we were being called into audition a fair bit. So I knew the producers, and I kind of knew Kim Manners, the director, a little bit. And I walked in, and Kim Manners was a real character. And he said, "Okay, just so you know, when you get to the Satanic Prayer, don't say it because weird stuff is going to happen." And I'm like, "Oh, but I really rehearsed that." So yeah, I'm doing the audition, and I get to the prayer part, and I say the first line of the prayer, and the lights went out. And Kim was like, "See, I told you." And I looked up and I said, "Just kidding." And the lights came back on. So obviously I did book that gig because I was able to conjure things, I guess. So it was, and it was kind of like Kim was very sensitive, I guess, to the fact that maybe other forces could potentially mess with us a little bit. So it was always like, "Okay, just hang on, just wait. Be prepared for whatever's going to happen." And that was really the only kind of weird thing that happened. I was actually at the audition, but it was amazing. And that what was also just trippy as anything was the lead, and I don't remember his name either, was there was a big boa constrictor. I don't know if you remember that. A boa constrictor comes down the stairs and wraps himself, it was a he, I think, around him. He was phobic. He was snake phobic, and he said one of the reasons he took the job was he wanted to face it. So when you see the shot of that snake coming down and him reacting, that is authentic.
Genuine fear. Well, snakes aren't exactly cuddly.
Cuddly?
And
Yeah.
and the whole, like, it's supposed to eat him kind of thing. So that's frightening to think of anyway. And the boa constrictors, they can constrict, and that looked like a big one. That
No,
looked like a
no.
big boy.
This fellow was like gigantic. And the snake handler was within inches, because if that fellow started to constrict, you'd have to kill the snake.
Yeah,
Like it was
bone
high tone
crushing.
stuff.
Yeah.
Literally. Yeah.
So
So,
did you do any research or anything besides obviously rehearsing the chant? Did you learn
oh yeah.
anything about, like devil worshiping or any of this,
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, it's a thing, right? And it was pretty wild. And I tell people, I after that, I was like, okay, I don't think I'm going to do this again. It's just it's unsettling. It was a little unsettling to say the least, but it was an incredible experience. And again, David Duchovny and Jillian were just top notch. I had to drag Jillian across the gymnasium floor by her feet and take her to the shower to try and stab her with a dagger. Um, and she was a trooper, man. She was a trooper. Yeah,
So
it
I'm
was wild.
curious, does she speak in her English accent normally, or was she in an
Not, I had no
American
idea
accent?
she was British. None. No, she stayed very much in line with Scully, very much. Yeah, yeah.
She's
But
she's much shorter than you, yes?
not a ton shorter, maybe a couple of inches, maybe. Um, yeah, yeah. But everybody was just a joy to work with, just a joy. And I remember, um, because I think David Duchovny, I was going to take out his heart with the dagger. I can't, anyway, I remember him like laying there going, don't drop that dagger. It was real. It was real. And I went, I'm not going to, I'm not going to.
They couldn't
Yeah.
use a rubber prop?
I think back in the day, uh, no, I mean, we don't have the rules that we do now. So, yeah, yeah, it was real. It was a real ceremonial dagger to take the heart out of people. It was like, okay, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Don't drop it on David Duchovny, Mr. Cutie Pie.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I went, I won't. But he had to verbalize that. And I went, I hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, yeah. Did he
Yeah.
smell good?
I don't know if I got close enough to smell him. And anytime I was in the same room with him, I don't remember thinking he didn't smell good.
Because I met Justin Trudeau a couple times and he smells amazing. Like people might not like him, but he smells great.
That's funny. That's funny. You got to tweet that. You may not like him, but he smells good.
And he's got great hair.
Yeah, he does. He does. Yeah.
Did you have to come in with your own wardrobe or did they
Yeah.
provide you with your own wardrobe?
Well, for the audition, yes, but no. I mean, from top to bottom, they were like they handled everything. It's like they had a particular way that they wanted us all to look, and I think a lot of the colors were very tapered down. Nobody wore bright colors. Nobody who was part of the bad crew wore colors like that. Yeah,
So
yeah,
exciting. So
yeah.
exciting. Um, have you experienced any crazy fans since filming those
Um,
episodes?
Not really crazy fans. I mean, there were people that would send letters and do that kind of thing. Um, and if every once in a while someone will reach out and say, "Oh, I saw you on this," or "I saw you on that," and yeah, yeah, but no crazy fans. Nope, I didn't have any crazy fans at all.
Have you dealt with I'm sure in teaching classes and working on other projects, have you dealt with any like strong egos or rude unprofessional people, and how did you deal with that?
That's a really good question. The answer is yes. Not very often. That's why when it happens, it's really kind of like, wow. Um, yes, I did. And again, part of it is not so much. Oh no, that's not true. Um, every actor has their own process, and some people have to kind of embody the character, and they're living inside that character all the time. Um, method acting. And so I had one experience where it was just myself and this other actor, and this other actor was we were adversaries. Um, and they were so nasty, and they were number one, and they were just nasty, nasty, nasty. And I just was like, okay, whatever, you know, yeah, all right.
You
So
just
I
let
just,
them.
yeah, I kind of had an ally on set with me, and so we just hung out as much as we possibly could.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you just avoided them and let them
Yep.
have their process. And
Yep.
okay, they are not a friend, so we're just not gonna warm
Correct.
up or make an extra effort. Okay.
Nope. Nope. It's
Okay.
like, okay, I got it. Space, you get it. I got it. You get it. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Were you fed on the X-Files show?
Very well. Very, very well. Oh my gosh, no, they had the best caterers on the planet because I mean the Duchovny and Jillian were there pretty much. That was they lived on set. So they took care of them really well, at least from the outside looking into everything. No, it was they were um phenomenal. It was
Amazing.
spectacular food. Yeah. Great craft services. Everything was top notch. Costumers were incredible. A lot of that was a career making show for a lot of different people in a lot of different areas.
Ryan
Uh,
Reynolds was on the show.
yep, yep, yep. There were, yeah, a lot of
Jack
people.
Black. It's darling. I saw Michael Bublé at one point.
Really?
Yeah, he's a sailor on a radioactive submarine, and he looks so cute. He's got to be about 23, and he's a
Yeah.
little chubby, and his big ears, and oh, Buble.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun.
No,
Yeah,
I've been rewatching the show and just enjoying all the pop-ups of all this. Hey,
yeah,
I know them. Hey, I know them.
yeah, I know. Well, I'll tell you, here's an interesting little fact. I think it's interesting. They put out an X-Files book. And I made the book because I did three different characters, and I was a variation of the last name Brown. When I was the psychiatrist, I was Dr. Braun. I was Mrs. Brown, and then I was Brun or something like that. I was always Brown.
They got really creative in the naming.
Well, they were so detailed oriented. I think people don't actually realize that unless you probably go back and watch and you go, oh, super consistent with this and this and this and this. Yeah.
Well, my joke is I really enjoy how modern and advanced the show is. But then in season one, Gillian Anderson is getting a bag of groceries and it came to $11.18 and she paid by check. So
Wow.
that doesn't happen anymore.
No, that doesn't happen anymore. And a lot of times, like, no, we don't take cash. Oh, okay. Checks, no cash.
I wasn't old enough to pay for too many things by check, but to pay for your groceries with fake check paper, like unbelievable. It astounds me just because I've heard of so many bounce checks and such to actually have that trust factor. Also,
Yeah.
another thing that I noticed in X-Files is almost every episode it's raining. I don't know if that was on purpose or if they, would shower a hose on people or if it was just always raining in Vancouver.
Well, it rains a lot. It rains a lot. I mean, what they did is the reason they loved it here is because they could take advantage of that, right? The gloominess of of our winters in particular. Yeah.
Yeah, it
And,
really
and I
sets
think
a mood.
yeah, and I think they probably had rain towers too when they needed them,
Do
which
you,
are just
so
harsh.
being a teacher, an acting coach and such, do you find encouraging people to go from theater to television acting, there is quite a difference?
That's a really great question. Um, there is a difference, but the process is the process is the process in terms of really exploring and analyzing script and story and getting inside of character. Um, so the kind of the shift from theater to film and television is in theater you get, well, 2 to 3 weeks to dive in and really explore so you can get inside of character. Um, and you only get to do it, there's no retakes, right? So, and in film and television, it's also much more intimate in terms of we're not filling a an arena or a stage, a theater. We are literally speaking, kind of nose to nose or toe to toe a lot of times with somebody. So instead of kind of filling the space that way, it's much more like this. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Besides X-Files and David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson, have you met anyone that has left you starstruck?
Um, oh, mm. Well, I got to work with Bob Hope. That was pretty cool. Yeah, that was years and years and years ago, and he was just the ultimate gentleman and professional. Let me think about that. Who have I been starstruck with? You know who I was starstruck with, and it was just in an audition, and it was for Stargate, I think. So this was years ago, and it was Jonathan Frakes who was the director. And I was never really a Star Trek sort of regular, but when I walked into the room and he stood up, I don't know what happened. I was just like, whoa. He was I don't it was bizarre. That's the only time that's ever happened because I think because I went, okay, I can't let that happen. I could barely talk. It was bizarre. And then I got an autograph from my sister-in-law from him. Audition. I was like, okay, I'm not getting that one. 'Cause I'm just too goofy. Uh, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
And
I guess they feel if you're freaking out too much that you're not going to be able to calm down and take the shot.
I know it was just yeah, but that's the only time that's really happened. And I got to work opposite Tom Selleck, and I love Tom Selleck.
Who
Yes,
doesn't? Oh my
I played
gosh,
his ex.
Magnum
I
PI.
played his. I
Woo!
know, I know. It was I got to spend a day with him as his ex-wife. It was great. It was really great, and he was such a lovely man, so lovely. Yeah. So those are kind of my highlights, I think.
For sure. Wow,
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
yeah.
Well, I really want to thank you for your time, and it's been lovely talking about your X-Files experiences.
Oh gosh,
It
yeah.
was such an influential show, and I'm so glad you were a part of it. That's wonderful. Is there anything coming up that the people should be keeping an eye out for you?
I mean, well, nothing that I would necessarily suggest that people watch. Although it was a fun little hallmark, and it was released at this past Easter, and it's called Easter Bloom, so it will make its comeback. And then I did a trilogy, Finding Father Christmas, Engaged to Father Christmas, and Marrying Father Christmas, and that trilogy is making its comeback, and that's really lovely and heartfelt and fun. That's fun. So and 'tis the season. So
And if people are in Vancouver, can they sign up for any of your acting classes?
Well, you know what? I teach at a university now, so I'm not teaching privately, but I can coach privately, but that's about it. But I can certainly recommend people.
Fabulous, fabulous. Well, if I can request one more thing from you, if you can say it loud, say it proud. I love Newsload.
I love Newsload.
Thank you, P. Lynn. I hope you have a wonderful day in sunny Vancouver, and I wish you all the best.
And you too. And happy holidays to you and all your loved ones.
Thank you.
This is the Newsload.